here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So today I had a private charter out of Long Beach, a half-day trip. We had one yesterday too. Uh, Yesterday the weather wasn't very good. It was kind of rough, and 3 out of my 5 passengers got sick. And but we did catch a bunch of fish. Today we had perfect weather. Hey Lloyd, hey Brian, hey Drama, and we had perfect weather today. Um, Only 3 passengers, and it was perfect fishing. Limits for everybody. We were done early. They had to be back in at 12:30 because the clients were flying back to Arizona, and it was really, really good fishing. We fished locally. We fished the Horseshoe Kelp, and we fished Isers, and both spots had plenty of fish. Hey, Frost. Hello, Fred. So I'm not home today. I'm at a birthday party, and snuck away in one of the rooms so I could do this. Haven't even been home yet since I went fishing today, and had to go to the office after work, and stayed there till 5:30, and then came over here for a birthday party, and then head to home a little bit. But I didn't want to miss out on you guys. I wanted to say hello, and I want to thank all of you for your support. And it was really nice meeting SoCal Orca on that trip on the Clemente, and looking forward to meeting a bunch of you guys next week when we go on the Gale Force again. Go wash my hands. I already did that. Haven't taken a shower, but I did wash my hands. Hey David. Hey Jeff. I think Jeff had today off. I got an email from him, and Jeff sent me a picture of a brand new world record for California on a barracuda. I think it was 14 pounds. It was pretty big. Hello, Vicky. So that was pretty good. But yeah, the local fishing was really, really good. The local fishing was really, really good, and it was. I couldn't believe how nice the weather was yesterday. And Jeff and I had been talking about this a little bit. How every other day it seems like you have a nice day, then you have a lousy day. Not so much fishing wise, but just weather wise. And yesterday we had a tougher day of fishing. We didn't get limits for all 4 people, but we did have a couple of people seasick yesterday, so they didn't do much fishing. But today you can do anything wrong. I mean, I only had 3 clients, and we got 4 limits. My 3 clients got a limit, and then we kept 1 limit for the boat. And my deckhand wanted to take some fish home, so we did that. So it was really, really good. Ooh, Tony got some yellowfin. That's cool. Yeah, for yellowfin, you normally don't need a 2-speed. The fish aren't that bad, aren't that big. How much do you want? Oh, okay, someone's asking. So, what was that question, Drama? Hey, Deanne, my dad took me to the park to practice casting. That's good. Hey, tell your dad to look at last week's messages. Um, there was a person that posted something about a job opening at a company I'm not sure he manages or he works at for a truck driver. And he said to tell your dad to go ahead and send in an application. I just saw it this morning when I was on the boat, so I didn't get a chance to text your dad. So let your dad know to check out last Thursday's YouTube live and see the message there. So that's good. Yeah. So today's fishing was really good. Like I said, it was pretty easy fishing. A lot of barracuda, no legals, but some were only about 2 inches short. but lots of short barracudas, all the calico bass you wanted, sand bass. It was really, really good. Uh, Great fishing. And then what else happened? Uh, we didn't get any bottom fish today. It was just strictly calico bass and sand bass. How's the audio, guys? Because I'm just using these things, so my ear things. So just wondering if you guys can hear me fine. Nobody's complaining, so I'm guessing it's okay. So, and luckily they already served dinner, so I already had dinner here for the party, so that was nice. They had brisket tonight, so it was really nice. Audio's good. That's cool. Hey, Daniel. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Kevin says the audio's good. Yeah, like Jeff is saying, for the local yellowfin, you really don't need two speed. If you were on a long range trip for yellowfin, like a 16-day trip, yeah, you would need two speed. But for the local stuff, you don't need. What does Tony say? Producer took us south to Ensenada, 75 miles south, San Diego, next to the Pens and Coronados. Okay. Yeah, John, if you're fishing locally for yellowfin tuna, you don't need a two speed. If you're fishing for the big bluefin, which there aren't a lot of spots of those right now, then yeah, you need a big bluefin. No, Daniel, the that legend trip, they're just starting to edit it probably in about another week or so. They haven't started it on yet. And then I haven't checked. So what's Soto say? I went on a 3/4 day on Saturday. Got skunked. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where you were fishing, but I'll tell you guys, if you were to fish locally right now out of Long Beach, there's tons of fish to catch. Just all the bass and stuff. I don't quite understand why I mean, part of me understands why all the sport boats are fishing rockfish right now because they want to have plenty of fish for everybody to take home, and it's a lot easier to fish the rockfish spots than it is to get just the people in the back of the boat to get bit. Um, but So I was the only boat today um, at Isers, and I was probably one of two boats I saw today over at the Horseshoe. Most of the sport boats I talked to today were all fishing rockfish, much deeper, 150 area and farther outside, but not much. Yeah, those porpoise that you see on the inside, they're really not holding any tuna. Yeah, Jeff is heading out to Tanner Cortez for the big tuna for tonight. And that's the way to catch them. It's just, I've heard so many people talk about seeing those schools of breaking bluefin off Catalina or in between the channel and Catalina and stuff. And there just hasn't been fish that want to bite. You might get lucky and get one or two to hit a jig, but really, for the number of thousands of fish out there jumping, you just don't get them. And during the day, it's just tough to get them. But at nighttime, like where Jeff is fishing them at Cortez and Tanner, those bigger fish are a lot easier to catch on the jig at night. So, um, what was that comment there? Marvin, watched you YouTube Monday, Tuesday. At your voice didn't see any videos catching fish. Yeah, I don't know which videos you were looking at. Daniel, my friend, yeah, right now it's kind of slow. I was talking to some of the landings down south, and it just sounds like the local fishing out of San Diego has been pretty tough. I don't know if it's gotten better in the last couple of days because I've been on the water. I haven't looked at the fish counts, and because I'm on my phone tonight, I can't look on the websites right now and give you guys some information on how that looks, but I could do that. Yeah, for the dodos, guys, you don't need heavy gear. You're going to fish 25, 30-pound gear for the Dorado. You don't need really heavy gear. And please do not throw a jig at a Dorado. All right, just think of your rod as the bow and the arrow as the fish. And you do not want the fish to let the arrow go flying, which would be the jig, and then come back and hit you. So really don't throw a jig at Dorado. And can I get some more likes here? I got 60 of you on here and only 20 likes. Joe. Yeah, I think they're asking for that now to go to Hawaii. I have a trip over to Europe for next month for a convention, TV convention, and it looks like I'm only going to be allowed to fly into France for my convention and not go to other countries. So that's what it sounds like right now. Because I was looking at going to Germany or going to Italy or something, but it doesn't look like it. Uh, yeah, you don't want to throw iron. I don't care what you see guys do. Do not throw iron at Dorados. That's just a nightmare. It's ugly. Seeing guys get jigs in their heads and their arms. Please do not throw that. Okay, any questions tonight? We still have a couple of spots open. We had that one family that got COVID and they canceled from the trip on the New Huck Fin, so we had 4 spots open. Right now, it looks like we have only 2 spots open because somebody bought 2 spots today from Northern Cal. That trip isn't until the end of the month. It's the last Saturday in September, so I'm not worried. I know it's going to sell out, but I would suggest anybody that wants to join me up in Emeryville, sign up for that trip. And if you just want to meet me while I'm up there in Emeryville, you can just call the landing and find out what time the boat's coming in, and I'd be glad to say hello and meet you guys. So we could do that too. So I'm trying to set up a meet and greet. With the second round of COVID, it's kind of hard to do. We haven't had any luck with some of the parks. Oh wow, Terry's brother is on the ventilator. That's sad to see. So what does Drama say? He gave out the kids flyers. Everybody wants to go. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, more kids will want to come if you tell them how much fun you had there. So that's cool. Thank you. Thank, thank you for taking a flyer to your school. Okay, what is that other one? Thursday, Pegasus, 2.5 days. Yeah, Jeff can help you with that question there, DJ. But really think about having jigs that will, like knife jigs or something that fall down fast. Notice that Yeti, Dan, I'm up for volunteering work. If you can get to Lake, we can use your help. Or if you want to come over to my office in Cerritos, take a bus there or something, we could use some help there from time to time. Manual. Starting today, 20th, based off moon phase, is the best time to fish this month. How do I feel about moon phases? I'm sure some of that's true about moon phases and all that, but I go fishing when I can go fishing. You know, especially like when I was in college, right after college, when I started my photography studio, I didn't worry about moon phases. I mean, like, yeah, full moons, you're probably going to get a lot more wind. If I'm going to go for white sea bass, I'm not going to go on a full moon, or lobster fish in a full moon, because that full moon just makes it too easy for everything to eat. But, you know, when I was growing up, I would go fishing. It didn't matter if it was a full moon, no moon. I would just go fishing to go fishing. So I didn't really pay attention to what the moon phases are. If you have a free day and you can go fishing, go fishing. Doesn't matter if it's surf fishing, pier fishing, a 3-day tuna trip, whatever it is. If you can get away to go fishing, go fishing. I just go fishing. I love to go fishing. When people book me for a private charter, I might say, it's a full moon coming up, so it might be a little windy, but we go fishing. Francisco Nava, hey Dan, for the Spitfire this week, what size magic metal jigs, bucktails do you recommend? If you're gonna fish the bucktails for the calicos and sand bass, I would probably suggest a 1 ounce regular one. If we start seeing bigger fish, then I would say a 1 or 2 ounce HD model. And for rock fishing, I'd say 1/2 ounce and 1 ounce for that trip. The magic metal jigs, if you want to use them for rock fishing, maybe an 8 ounce. I probably wouldn't go heavier than 8 ounce because we're not going to be fishing that deep. And then maybe a 4.5 ounce, you can do that too. Yeah, don't worry. Like Jeff is saying, and a lot of other people are saying, don't worry about moon phases. You got permission to go fishing, go fishing. I don't care if you're lake fishing, bluegill fishing, crappie fishing, catfish, bluefin tuna, marlin. I book my trip for the East Cape every year, like the last week of July. Some years it's a full moon, some years it's not. Every year we go. Been going for 40 years, down there before I was even on TV. So don't worry about moon phases. Go fishing, And I don't know if it's a younger guy's thing or what the deal is, but I see so many people not wanting to go fishing until they have like 12 Yelp reviews on a boat. And they don't understand that these guys have been driving boats, have been doing it for a lot of these guys before they were born. You know, Nobody wants to catch a fish more than the skipper. These guys take it personal. I'm surprised more of them don't have heart attacks, don't have strokes, because when they have a lousy day of fishing, it's not like they had a lousy day of fishing. They think the 30 people on the boat had a lousy day of fishing, and it hurts them in the heart. I've been on boats with skippers where they just look like they got run over by a car, and I have to tell them, relax, it's okay. It's fishing. My people understand it's fishing. Not every day you're going to get them. And that's the way you need to look at it. And every time you go fishing, you should learn something. I don't care if it's a knot, it's how to pin on a bait, if it's casting better, if it's reading water. Um, TJ, when the wife is out of town, I go fishing. You should just go fishing. Don't make it into how many fish you catch. Because I always hear people say that, I have to catch this many fish to make it worthwhile. If it's all about how many pounds of fish you have, go to the supermarket, go to the fish market. But if you want to learn how to fish, go fishing. Hey, South Coast or SoCal Orca, nice to see you here. It was nice to meet you on the Clemente. We had great conversations on the boat, and I'd like to get your input when you get a chance, and email me and let me know some of the things we talked about. So that'd be good. Yeah, the number one thing that a captain worries about when he takes you fishing isn't about catching fish, is that he gets you home alive. He gets you back, for to be with your family and all that. And I had a couple of trips during lobster season. Hey, SoCal, was it? Hey, Dan, it's a great time. Thank you. It was good. Michael, that's a very good comment. I agree with you. Yeah, Henry too. Good comments, guys. Yeah, it should be fun. You should be out there to learn. Don't look at going fishing as harvesting. Look at it as working to improve your skill. The people I had today, I had one lady who had her nephew and niece on the boat today, She didn't fish at all, just a nephew and niece fished, and none of them had ever fished before. And when they started first thing in the morning, they knew nothing about fishing. By the end of the trip, they had limits of bass. Um, they were hooking their own fish. Even the niece, the girl, the lady, and her brother, both of them were taking the fish off the hooks themselves. Um, the the nephew guy was pinning on baits by himself. You know, the niece was talking about how she's allergic to fish, she can't eat them, she's afraid to touch them, and all that. By the end of the day, she was holding them. She was holding the fish in her hand, taking the pictures. I posted a bunch of pictures there on Instagram, and there's nothing more rewarding for being a captain to see somebody who's never ever been fishing before, never caught a fish before, catch their first fish. See somebody that never had an idea how to wind a rod and reel, how to work a rod and reel, how to work a bait, catch a fish before. And then by the end of the trip, you know, they've caught plenty of fish, they've had lots of fun, and they're having a great time. That's what we live for. That's guys like Jeff that's out there with his clients. He has a much harder job because they're trying to catch 200 to 300 pound fish, 100 pound tuna. You know, I'm taking lots of people that have never ever fished before, so we're trying to educate. It's more like a fishing classroom lots of times, and it's for me it's really enjoyable that I have so many people that watch my TV show around the country that when they come fish with me, it isn't so much about the fishing, it's more the experience. All right, thanks, Oz. Yeah, it's more about the experience, it's more about learning. And I just got an email again from a family who is going to be in Southern California for November. I'm not sure they're coming out from the Midwest or the East Coast, but their kid is a huge fan of mine, and he's going to be coming out, and they're going to San Diego for vacation, and they're going to drive from San Diego, rent a car, come all the way up to Long Beach to fish with me, just because their kid is such a big fan, and the kid wants to meet me and all that. So I'm really looking forward to that, and it's going to be lots of fun. So yeah, if you guys, if all that matters to you is how many pounds of fish you end up at the end of the day, find another sport. Badminton, volleyball, chess, whatever it is. Those of us that love fishing, that love being on the water, you know, it's just the roll of the boat, the smell of the water, the sticking your hand in the bait tank. I remember as a kid, the first time I stuck my hand in a bait tank to grab an anchovy, sardine, I just fell in love with that. And I still enjoy it. I still, you know, every time I go, there's still stuff to learn. So try to learn every time you go fishing. And this won't be a hobby for you. This will be a way of life. You need to just enjoy it and have fun. Try fishing different areas. It still surprises me how many times I go on a sport boat and I talk to a deckhand or a captain, especially deckhand guys. They're, you know, young guys, really nice people, and women too. And they've never fished more than maybe 20 or 50 miles from their area. Maybe a guy from LA has been to San Diego, but they've never been all the way up, like to the Bay Area. They've never been to Alaska. They've never been to Cabo. You know, much less like me, been to Europe and fished the Middle East. They haven't done that. I'm just telling you, when you learn, you know, Central America, I fished all of Central America. You know, just when you start fishing all those different places and you have those experiences, it's never about how many fish you take home. It's just about the experience of being on the water, catching fish. And the better you can get at home at fishing, the better you're going to be on the road. I mean, I told you guys a story about that last trip to Baja where we had to cut the line twice and splice the line onto two different reels. It took three reels to catch that last 200-pound marlin, and the last fish I caught was on 30-pound test line. because that was the only rod that I grabbed. And, it's just, I was only able to catch that fish on 30-pound line and do all the splicing and fight the fish by hand because of all those years of experience on the water. And it was an enjoyable moment. Yeah, Jeff, I know what you mean. Yeah, to me, that's my church. I mean, I do like to go to church, but there is no place where I feel more spiritual than being on the water. There's no place I sleep better than being on a boat, on a sport boat. So it's just, I love being on the water. It's just, I think I told you guys the story about how I had a girlfriend one time and we're at Disneyland and she's looking at the pictures afterwards where we're smiling over by the castle or somewhere. And she looked at the pictures later and she's looking at my Instagram and she goes, "It's a nice picture of us there, but how come you don't smile like you do when you're on the water or holding a fish? Why don't you smile like that when you're with me?" And that this was years ago, and I used to date this girl. And I told her, I said, "If you ever want to get a nice smiling picture of me like that, go fishing with me. Go on a boat with me, and we'll get a picture like that." But she would never go on a boat. So one of the many thousands of reasons I'm still single. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I always hear people say like, there are different theories if there's a God, not a God. I'm not here to preach anything, but if there isn't a God, how do we have bluefin tuna and sheephead? How do we have lingcod and opalite? How do we have all these variety of fish? Who decided to make a halibut with two eyes on one side? Some sort of higher power. But I enjoy going fishing. I love going fishing. And again, it doesn't matter to me if it's a full moon, no moon. If your wife's out of town and you can sneak out to go fishing, go fishing. If you need a reason to get out of the house, drag the kids and go fishing. If you want to have a day to get away out of the house, you don't have to go golfing. Get the neighborhood kids, get the grandkids. You're never getting in trouble for taking the kids fishing. Go fishing. That's a great way to do that and educate the kids and have a good time. So, I mean, I have friends that come on some of my filming trips. And sometimes when they can't go fishing, um, like on weekends, they'll come out during the week when I have a charter and they fish very, very hard. And then when they get a chance to bring the kids, they're not worried about catching fish. They're not worried about catching a bonita or a barracuda, yellowtail. They're there to educate their kids on how to fish and how to catch that first fish, what to look for, and all that. So, Fred, you're very lucky. Found a girlfriend that liked to go fishing before him. Mary, let's go fishing. Come join us on a trip, Mary. Come fish with us. I can't check right now, guys, so I don't know what's left for the 16th for the meet and greet trip on the Gale Force. If there's any rooms left, any spots left on there, any room for people, please come join us. I'd love to have you guys join us. It'd be lots of fun, and come join us on that trip. All the men come. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get on a tangent, but I just wanted to emphasize, guys, if if you don't if you're worried about going fishing over fish counts, if you're worried about going fishing over, what the moon phase is, then you're not really into fishing. Because if you really want to go fishing, you go fishing. And like I said, when I was growing up and I was younger, if I had money to get on a boat and I had made my rent payment and I could get by, that's what I did. I went fishing. I didn't worry about, I didn't worry about what we're going to catch. I'll give you one example. And it was this weekend, this past weekend, many, many years ago before I was on TV. So I've been on TV 35 years now. So this must have been about 38 years ago, something like that. Um, the blackjack was running out of Redondo. Now it's called the Ocean Odyssey out of San Diego. But back then, thank you, Tamara. Okay, guys, I got 80 of you on here live and only 50 likes. Can we get some more likes, please? So let me give you one last example. So it's Labor Day weekend. It's the weekend that the airliner crashed in Cerritos, got hit by another plane. That exact day, I forgot what year it was, long time ago, maybe 38 years ago, 37 years ago. We didn't have the internet. There was no, hour to hour fish count that you could check. We had the LA Times, and it was the fish report from the day before, and that's all you had. Okay, 1986. That's the first year I started on TV. Okay, so this was probably a few months before I started on TV, 1986. So Dennis Leckenbach, who was the skipper of the Blackjack and probably one of the most influential persons in my life on learning about fishing, this guy loved the fish. He's one of those captains that, and he was a young guy back then. He ran this big boat, the Blackjack, which I believe was like an 85 footer or something. And so he ran the boat, and we're out there. And it was funny, like for days before that, nothing in the fish count. Fishing was lousy, nothing in the fish count. And everybody was kind of like, I'll go fishing. I don't think there's anything to catch. I'll go fishing. And we get on the boat. We get on the boat. The boat left at midnight from Redondo. We were supposed to go to San Clemente Island to go fish. So I wake up in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're at Catalina. We haven't even got to Clemente yet. We're at Catalina, and nobody's fishing. And Dennis is over there at Catalina, waiting for the bait boat to bring in some fresh bait that that they had just wrapped. So we finally get the bait, and we head over to San Clemente Island. And Dennis had seen some bluefin tuna at the island the day before, school-sized fish, 15 to 30-pound fish. But the bait he had was really bad. He didn't want any of the bait at the bait receiver. The bait boat was catching the bait all the way out by Catalina. So he waited for the bait boat to wrap the fish. It was like, I don't know, 9 o'clock before we left. And we left Catalina, and people were upset. They wanted their money back. There's like, it's 9 o'clock. We haven't caught a fish yet. We haven't started fishing. We have no bait yet. Just turn the boat around, take us in. And at the time, I was writing fishing reports for Western Outdoor News. So people were coming up to me, and they're like, Dan, go talk to Dennis. Tell him, take us back. Give us back our money. This is ridiculous. We should get our money back. We're not fishing. It's already 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And Dennis says, we're going to go to Clemente. Fishing's going to be good. Have faith in me. This is what we're going to do. And nobody was believing. So finally we get bait, we go. We don't get to Clemente till like 1 o'clock. Okay? 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we finally get to Clemente, and boats are starting to leave there already. And they're not catching much because they had really lousy bait. In the next 2.5 hours, we put 115 bluefin tuna in the boat. Okay? We must have lost another 200 because nobody was planning to catch tuna. So we got good live anchovies, nice lively bait, fresh bait. We made the move from Catalina to Clemente. We got there late in the day. We fished probably till about 5 or 6 o'clock, and then we went home. When we went home, we had 115, 120 bluefin tuna in the boat, some yellowtail. It was just a phenomenal day. And I'll try to find the picture for you guys and show it to you on Thursday. But it was a phenomenal bluefin tuna day. I want to say it was the first bluefin tuna I ever caught. Definitely the first bluefin tuna I ever caught on an anchor at the island. And the cover of Western Outdoor News the next week was a whole bunch of us all, on knees and stuff on the back of the boat holding the tuna. And I have that picture still. I have the cover of the magazine, and I'll try to find it. I'm not in it. Yeah, I think it was '86, and I'll find that picture for you guys. I'll try to get it for you for the next one on Thursday. So, all right. So I should stop rambling, but I just want to tell you guys, if you get an opportunity to go fishing, go fishing. Bottom line, and have fun. Have fun going fishing. Share fishing with as many people as you can. I would start at home, start with your kids, start with your wife, start with your girlfriend. You know, I my parents introduced me to fishing, but it's nothing like the fishing I've introduced them to. They introduced me to fishing on a pier. They introduced me to going to Lake and catching bluegill and carp. For my dad and I to catch a 10-pound or a 20-pound carp was like catching a 300-pound tuna. There was nothing more exciting than watch my dad bring in a big carp, and that was the most exciting thing. For us, that's as close as we were going to get to a tuna when I was growing up in Montebello. So that was neat. So for me, with my youth foundation, to teach kids about tuna fishing or catching bluegill, any sort of fishing, it all comes full circle. I really appreciate it. So the next Kids Club meeting is on the third Saturday of every month. I will be on the trip this Friday on the Spitfire. Yeah, Spitfire is this Friday. I will be on there. I'll be in the office the next 2 days. So if any of you have any questions about that trip, please go ahead and give me a call at the office if you're on it. We have a few spots left for our trip on the New Huck Finn the last Saturday of this month. We still have some trip for October on the Triton for our last filming trip of the year. I haven't been able to confirm another tuna trip for October, and I haven't been able to confirm a trip out of Santa Barbara. I've been trying to reach people at the Coral Sea, and they haven't returned my call. So I don't know if that just means they're not interested or what's going to happen. But I'll keep trying. But sorry, my name is. Hello, Glenn. Yeah, Kids Club is on the third Saturday of every month. The only one we don't do on the third Saturday of every month is October, because October, the third Saturday, is the day that we do our lake event at El Dorado. What did Jeff say? Oh no, Fred says he fished all the time on the old Queen of Sea. I used to fish with John Dipley too. And I have some great John Dipley stories that I can't share here, but he was a fun guy to fish with. And in the corner of the boat in the stern, you know how they all had the different colors, numbers and stuff. And on his boat in the corners, it said skipper, so nobody else could fish there. That was his spot, so it was pretty good. All right, guys, I need to get back inside for the party and stuff. I've been out here for a while, so I just wanted to say hello. What was that question, real quick, Fred? How is Captain John? Which are you talking about? John from the Seawolf? Which John are you talking about? Hello, Tamara, Kevin. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday. John Dipley. I don't know if John Dipley's even alive anymore. I haven't heard that name in a long, long time. But yeah, okay, that's what Jeff said. He passed away. Yeah, a lot of those old guys, Russ Iser, Bill Poole, a lot of those guys. The guy Steve that used to own the Tracer. Those guys are just memories in my heart and my brain from fishing with them for all those years. Some of them were in my books that I've written years ago, so I enjoy fishing with them. All right, guys, I'm gonna say goodnight now. I need to get back in. They're probably missing me. Want to talk fishing or whatever else. But it was nice seeing you guys. I will be back here on Thursday, and on Friday, I will see you guys um, on the water at a Marina Del Rey that's going to join me and talk to you guys all then. Hey, Drama, make sure you tell your dad to look at the last recording and follow up, make that phone call. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. We'll do the raffle thing next week, so you guys can go ahead and do the super chats if you want them. But thank you very much. Talk to you later. Good night, everybody.